Welcome to Chroma Celebes. I'm Rose, bringing you the latest shocking updates on Sister Wives. Unexpected twists, emotional moments, and unbelievable drama. Stay tuned till the end. I never want to be like Robyn. Her explosive confession about regret, redemption, and rebuilding. The dust hasn't settled in the world of Sister Wives, and Meri Brown has just stirred up the storm again. In a deeply candid and emotionally charged reveal, Meri has finally voiced the truth fans have long suspected but never imagined she would confirm so directly. With fiery conviction, Meri declares, "I never want to be like Robyn." A bold statement, echoing louder than any passive-aggressive comment or Instagram quote she's dropped over the years. This isn't just tea, it's a full pot boiling over, and it's about time. For over a decade, viewers have watched Meri navigate the wreckage of a broken plural marriage, often painted as the emotionally estranged first wife, the outcast, the one left behind. But what few understood until now is how deeply Meri resented being constantly compared to Robyn. And even worse, how she loathed the idea of ever becoming her. In an exclusive sit-down shared through her personal channels and close sources, Meri let the floodgates open. And what came rushing through wasn't just pain. It was power. It was clarity. And it was the final nail in the coffin of any lingering illusion that the Brown family could ever return to what it once was. Meri's journey hasn't been quiet. It's been simmering under the surface, boiling with unspoken truths and painful sacrifices. From her legal divorce from Kody so he could marry Robyn, to the emotional catfishing scandal that left her raw and vulnerable, Meri has endured a public unraveling few would survive. All the while, Robyn was stepping in with her soft voice and tearful eyes, growing in influence and ultimately becoming the only wife Kody seemed to invest in. And Meri? She was left with silence, shame, and spiritual confusion. Now, years later, Meri has had enough. No longer willing to play the part of the loyal soldier in a battle she no longer believes in, Meri is pulling back the curtain on what she really thinks about Robyn. And it's not pretty. "I've watched her play the victim," Meri says. "I've seen the manipulation, the games, the way she twists emotions to always come out looking like the one who's suffering the most. And I realized there's nothing about that I want to emulate. Nothing." Her voice, trembling with intensity, conveys not just anger but heartbreak. "There was a time when I wanted to be close with Robyn. I believed her tears. I defended her. But that woman isn't the innocent soul everyone thinks she is. She knew exactly what she was doing." This confession from Meri marks a turning point. Fans have speculated for years about tension between the wives, especially as Robyn rose to prominence in Kody's eyes. But Meri had always maintained a certain loyalty to the family's narrative, speaking in vague terms or offering neutral statements. Not anymore. The gloves are off and Meri is standing tall finally. Sources close to the family confirm what Meri implies. Robyn was never just a passive participant in the family dynamic. She played a critical role in shifting the emotional and spiritual balance of power in Kody's world. And Meri felt that shift like an earthquake. "I gave up everything," she explains. "I divorced Kody so he could adopt her kids. I supported her when no one else trusted her. And how was I repaid? With distance. With silence. With being made to feel like I was the problem." What fans didn't see on camera was how isolated Meri became in the years following Kody's marriage to Robyn. Despite the show's portrayal of sisterhood, Meri often found herself excluded from major family decisions, ignored in discussions about property and legacy, and left out of emotional milestones. And the deeper Robyn embedded herself in Kody's life, the further away Meri was pushed. But Meri didn't spiral into bitterness. Instead, she started doing the work. Emotional work. Spiritual work. And through that process, she says, she discovered one vital truth. "I don't need to be like Robyn to be loved. I don't need to cry on cue, manipulate with guilt, or pretend I'm weak just to get attention. That's not strength. That's survival based on deception. I want no part in it." This explosive sentiment resonated with thousands of fans who have watched Meri's evolution in awe. Her journey from broken wife to empowered woman has been nothing short of extraordinary. And now, hearing her voice her truth so unapologetically, it's cathartic. It's liberating. It's the moment she truly steps out of Robyn's shadow and into her own light. Still, Mary's confession wasn't just about throwing shade. It was about reclaiming her narrative. People think I'm cold or bitter. I'm not, she insists. I'm just tired of pretending. Tired of playing a role. I want authenticity, peace, and real connection. And if that means walking away from everything I once believed in, then so be it. For Mary, the journey ahead isn't about vengeance or exposing secrets. It's about healing. She's opening up about her future, plans for a new home, possibly outside of Arizona, where she can build a life based on her values and independence. She's reinvesting in her businesses and mentoring women who've faced similar struggles. And perhaps most importantly, she's surrounding herself with people who see her for who she truly is. I spent too long waiting for Kody to see me, she says, emotion flooding her voice. Waiting for Robyn to treat me like a sister wife. But I've realized I don't need their validation. I never did. As Sister Wives heads into an uncertain future, with rumors of spin-offs, cancelled seasons, and shifting alliances, Mary's role has never been more powerful. She's not just a former wife. She's a symbol of resilience, of truth, of a woman who dared to break free from the roles assigned to her and write her own story. But Robyn? The silence from her camp has been deafening. No public response. No denial. And sources close to her suggest she's rattled by Mary's candid remarks. After all, the entire Brown family brand was built on unity, even if that unity was a facade. And Mary pulling back the veil threatens to topple the carefully constructed house of cards. What makes this moment so earth-shattering isn't just what Mary said, it's what it means for the broader narrative. For so long, Robyn was seen as the glue holding the family together. But Mary's revelations paint a different picture. Robyn wasn't the glue. She was the wedge. It's impossible not to draw parallels between Mary's personal awakening and the larger disintegration of the Brown family. As Christine left and Janelle pulled back, Mary stood at a crossroads. For a while she hovered, unsure of whether to fight for what once was or walk away for what could be. Now, with crystal-clear eyes and a heart unburdened, she's made her choice. She's walking. And not just walking, but striding head held high into a future where she calls the shots. Where her value isn't defined by a man or a reality show edit. Where her voice isn't drowned out by crocodile tears and passive-aggressive comments. And where she never ever has to mimic someone like Robyn to be seen. Fans across social media are rallying behind Mary, praising her courage and finally acknowledging the emotional abuse and neglect she endured under the guise of polygamist faith. The hashtag #TeamMary is trending, with thousands sharing their own stories of reclaiming identity after toxic relationships. It's more than a pop culture moment, it's a movement. Yet, perhaps the most powerful part of Mary's confession isn't the jab at Robyn or the subtle dig at Kody. It's the vulnerability. The way she admits to once trying to be more like Robyn, softer, more agreeable, more in tune with Kody's needs, and how much that cost her. I lost myself trying to be someone I'm not, she says. And I won't make that mistake again. With Mary's transformation now laid bare, all eyes are on what's next. Will she get her own show? A memoir? A speaking tour? Whatever path she chooses, one thing is clear. She's no longer the footnote in Kody and Robyn's story. She's the author of her own. And for fans who've rooted for her all these years, this moment feels like justice. Like redemption. Like the beginning of something beautiful rising from the ashes of a broken family ideal. Mary Brown has spoken. Loudly, clearly, and unapologetically. I never want to be like Robyn, she said. And thank God for that. I think Kody and Robyn Brown are outsiders now. There's red flag evidence. The storm clouds have gathered over the Brown family, and this time they're centered squarely over Kody and Robyn Brown. Once considered the reigning power couple of sister wives, their grip on the family and on the narrative itself has drastically slipped. The tables have turned in a way few expected, and there's an unsettling truth simmering to the surface. Kody and Robyn Brown are no longer at the center of the family. They are the outsiders now. And if you're paying attention, the red flags are impossible to miss. This isn't just the inevitable fallout of a plural marriage unraveling at the seams. It's deeper, more corrosive. The signs are all there, and they scream of isolation, resentment, and a desperate attempt to hold on to control in a world that's moved on without them. The rest of the Brown family, Christine, Janelle, Mary, have stepped into new lives, new power, and new peace. But Kody and Robyn? They are stuck. And it's not a good look. For years, the show Sister Wives painted Kody as the charismatic if flawed patriarch, trying to balance 4 relationships, a mountain of children, and the principles of faith and family. Robyn was introduced as the sweet, teary-eyed newcomer, whose children were quickly folded into the Brown legacy through a legal marriage and adoption that shook the foundations of the original family dynamic. At first, their union seemed to be a chance at healing old wounds, a renewal of purpose. But instead, it became the wedge that drove the family apart. And now the result is crystal clear. Kody and Robyn are alone. And the most damning part? They don't seem to realize just how thoroughly the family has rejected them. Evidence of this growing alienation has been building quietly at first, but now it's blaring like a siren. The first tremor came when Christine announced her separation from Kody. That was the warning shot. But it wasn't just about a breakup. It was about power. Christine didn't just leave a marriage. She walked away from a system that no longer served her. And she did it publicly, proudly, without asking for Kody or Robyn's blessing. That moment sent shockwaves through the family dynamic. But more importantly, it exposed something deeply unsettling. No one was rallying behind Kody and Robyn anymore. When Christine left, fans waited to see if Kody and Robyn would take center stage, if their relationship would solidify into the new core of the show. But what unfolded was far less flattering. Instead of a strong couple rising to lead a new chapter, we saw 2 people consumed by confusion, anger, and paranoia. Their scenes became repetitive, full of defensiveness, desperate justifications, tears, blame, and increasingly denial. The denial is perhaps the most glaring red flag of all. Kody and Robyn have spent the last several seasons insisting they're not the problem, that the other wives misunderstood them, that the rules were fair, that the emotional distance was circumstantial. But the more they spoke, the more isolated they appeared. Their narrative no longer connected with reality, and certainly not with the other family members. It's like they've been living in a separate world. And in a sense, they have. Meanwhile, Janelle, Mary, and Christine began rewriting their own stories. No longer just wives of Kody, they emerged as full characters with their own goals, fears, and aspirations. They traveled. They launched businesses. They bonded with children. They made decisions. And most notably, they did it without needing Kody or Robyn's approval. In fact, they seemed to thrive despite the couple's disapproval. What's more telling is how the children have responded. For a family whose strength was always its size, the silence of the Brown kids toward Kody and Robyn speaks volumes. While many of them maintain close relationships with their mothers, there's a noticeable lack of warmth toward Kody, and especially toward Robyn. When birthdays, weddings, and graduations roll around, who's there? Who's tagged in the posts? It's rarely Kody. It's almost never Robyn. Some fans speculated that this chill in the air was exaggerated by editing, but behind-the-scenes reports confirm what we see is just the surface. Many of the adult Brown children have distanced themselves from Kody and Robyn, choosing instead to spend holidays, vacations, and family milestones with their mothers and siblings. Not only does this undermine the idea of Kody as the family leader, it rebrands him as a figure of absence. And Robyn? Her once gentle demeanor now reads differently to many fans. What once seemed like kindness now feels like calculation. The constant tears. The perpetual confusion. The way she seems to ask, "Why is this happening?" as if she has no idea how the family became fractured. But Christine, Janelle, and even Mary have begun subtly and sometimes not so subtly indicating that Robyn knew. That she was never neutral. That her presence in the family required a shift in balance, and once she had Kody to herself, she had no intention of giving him back. Red flag after red flag keeps appearing. The couple's increasing reclusiveness. The lack of interaction with the larger family. The tone of their interviews, which have become more bitter, more entrenched in a victim mindset. It's not just that Kody and Robyn feel misunderstood. It's that they genuinely seem to believe they're being persecuted for doing nothing wrong. But let's call it what it is: emotional control. Kody's version of plural marriage was always tinged with a power imbalance. He expected submission, agreement, loyalty. And when the women began asking questions, when they stopped performing emotional labor for him, the cracks in his authority began to show. Robyn perhaps represented the last holdout, the one who still played the game. And as a result, she became his echo chamber. Now, with no one left to challenge them inside their bubble, Kody and Robyn are flailing. They appear increasingly disoriented, out of touch, and fans are picking up on it. Online discussions have shifted dramatically. Once split between teams, the tone now is overwhelmingly skeptical of Kody and Robyn. They are no longer seen as misunderstood. They are seen as manipulative, entitled, out of step. And still, they cling to the idea that they are the center of the family. But the truth? The family has moved on, and Kody and Robyn are on the outside looking in. They weren't invited to major family events. They don't speak often of the other wives unless prompted. The photos, the social media posts, the business collaborations, they all tell the same story. Kody and Robyn are no longer part of the whole. They've become their own isolated island. And rather than build a bridge back to the rest of the Browns, they've doubled down on their separateness. The tension is undeniable. In the latest Sister Wives footage, viewers notice the physical distance in scenes, the lack of eye contact, the way conversations fizzle out or devolve into finger-pointing. Even Robyn's tears, once effective at drawing sympathy, now appear hollow. Like a performance she's tired of giving but doesn't know how to stop. The psychological toll on both Kody and Robyn is evident. Robyn has spoken of wanting more children, but there's a weariness in her voice. Kody seems exhausted, angry, resigned. Their conversations have less intimacy and more strategy. And through it all, the undercurrent of fear that they've been left behind. There's a desperation in how they speak about family unity. But unity can't be forced. It must be nurtured. And that's where Kody and Robyn failed. Rather than adapting to the changing emotional landscape of their family, they clung to old hierarchies, old roles. They tried to maintain control through guilt, obligation, and spiritual superiority. And in doing so, they alienated the very people they claimed to love. What makes this saga so tragic is that it didn't have to end this way. There were opportunities for humility, for listening, for growth. But Kody refused to be questioned. Robyn refused to be honest. And together they built a fortress of denial. Now that fortress feels more like a prison. Inside it are two people who once imagined themselves as the glue holding a plural family together. But today they're ghosts haunting a house that's already been abandoned. And the rest of the Browns? They're building new homes. Literally and figuratively. Christine's marriage to David Woolley is a celebration of rebirth. Janelle's newfound independence is a reclamation of self-worth. Mary's emotional detachment, though slow in coming, signals her own internal reckoning. And the children? They are scattering into their own futures, away from the chaos, the pain, the toxic structure that hurt so many for so long. What remains is Kody and Robyn sitting in silence, watching the doors close one by one. It's not just that they're alone. It's that they're irrelevant. And in the world of sister wives, that might be the harshest truth of all.